When I stumbled upon the Torah, an overwhelming sense of certainty washed over me, leaving me convinced that God would answer my prayers. Before I lived by the Torah, I was really into mainstream Christianity. During that time, I struggled with whether God would answer my prayers. My pastor told me that if I wholeheartedly believed in Jesus' sacrifice for my sins, my unwavering faith in the cross would guarantee a response to prayers. But most of the time, it seemed like my prayers went unanswered no matter how hard I believed in the cross. And when they were seemingly answered, I couldn't help but wonder if there might be a logical or natural explanation. This internal struggle and the difference between what I was taught and what I experienced made me rethink my beliefs and eventually explore a different spiritual path, leading to me becoming Torah observant. Have you ever wondered what it means to be Torah observant? It's about embracing the way of life Christ lived as he observed the Torah. This doesn't mean converting to Judaism or turning away from Christianity. It's about authentically living as a follower of Jesus and embodying actual Christian values. How has being Torah observant helped me in my prayer life? I noticed something strange about how people like Joshua and the other faith heroes prayed in the Old Testament. They prayed and believed Jehovah had heard their prayers because of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. This made me question, why this phrase, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob? In the Old Testament, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob reminded us that Jehovah would answer prayers not because of a promise made to the people, but because of a promise made to the patriarchs. Jehovah had promised the patriarchs to care for, protect, and provide for everyone who lived by the Torah and be the God of everyone who lived by the Torah. This experience was a profound revelation for me. It made me realize that my adherence to the Torah was not about seeking rewards from Jehovah. Instead, it was about embracing my role within the covenant between the patriarchs and Jehovah. Through this covenant and the actions of the patriarchs, I came to understand that the promises I experienced were not a result of my adherence to the Torah, but rather a fulfillment of Jehovah's promises to the patriarchs, ensuring that all who followed the Torah would partake in these blessings. When I reflected on my Torah obedience, I realized that it linked me to all those who had faithfully followed the Torah in the past and had their prayers answered. This awareness filled me with the certainty that just as Jehovah had delivered Moses and the people from Egypt and sustained them with manna, he would also rescue and provide for me in the present day, living in Scandinavia in 2024. The experiences I encountered were vastly different from those in mainstream Christianity. While some individuals in my denomination had their prayers answered, I always questioned whether there could be a logical or natural explanation. Moreover, I was aware of people in other denominations who had their prayers answered. I pondered whether their prayers were answered because they belonged to the right denomination. The extraordinary events recounted in the Old Testament, such as the parting of the Red Sea, the provision of manna from heaven, and the occurrence of plagues, appeared to defy natural explanation. Nevertheless, I firmly believe that these phenomena were experienced by those who adhered to the Torah due to the promise made to the patriarchs. These two revelations changed how I prayed because now I suddenly had no problem believing Jehovah would answer my prayer. Why could I be so sure? He had previously answered prayer for those who kept the Torah because he had promised the patriarchs. Then, it was straightforward to believe Jehovah would answer my prayers if I lived by the Torah, something I see happening daily.